Welcome to Food for Thought, everyone. This is Rick Whitted. I'm the CEO of U.S. Hunger, and I'm here with my good friend Stephanie Hochman of Citi. Stephanie is a senior vice president, and she leads Citi volunteers. Welcome to Food for Thought, Stephanie. It's good to have you.
So great to be here with you, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's always a challenge when my team brings on some of my most favorite partners who many don't know, but we engage quite a bit, particularly through this pandemic. So 15 minutes is going to be hard for you and I, but let's just jump right into a couple questions. So we've partnered together for more than 4 years now, packing nearly 1.5 million meals at our meal packing events we call Hunger Projects. And Citi's commitment to fighting hunger is evident and it's really real. And we've seen that, especially through the pandemic. So just tell the listeners, why was it important to Citi to make this impact in hunger?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's important to us at Citi to make a positive impact in people's lives, right? No matter what the issue is or the struggles that they have, that they're dealing with. And giving back is really the way I talk about it. It's in our DNA. It's who we are as a firm. A year round, we have colleagues around the globe giving back. They're donating their time, they're donating their talent to really important causes. And that, of course, includes food insecurity, right? Big appeal across the world, lots of interest, not only by our firm, but by our colleagues. They see that there's a really important need, they react, and they really want to help. Citi has lots of invaluable partnerships, especially some key ones with food-focused organizations, of course, like U.S. Hunger. And when it comes to COVID, when that struck last year, so challenging, right, for all of us, personally, professionally, everyone was dealing with so much. You think about the economic impacts, right, and the significant strains on all these families all around the world. So food insecurity, of course, is an issue, and that it was just exacerbated by the pandemic. And so we know that it was important to do something. Our commitment did not waver. We knew we were even more determined than ever to help. So that became a priority for the firm, especially through our Global Community Day Reimagined campaign. That's our annual day of service that we do every year. It's typically one day in June. And of course, during the pandemic, one day was not going to work because it's also typically, as you know well, all about in-person volunteer projects, right? You gather in big groups, you're packing food, right, with hundreds of people around you. And we unfortunately couldn't make that happen with the pandemic, right? So we, like many companies, pivoted. We had no choice. And so, and I must say, this year was the first year we actually had a central focus, a call to action around the issue of food insecurity throughout the campaign that lasted a couple of months. And so we were really proud of that. We had people all around the world really doing all different kinds of things to help in this particular area. They were bringing meals to frontline healthcare workers who didn't have access to food. They were certainly feeding people at home who are isolated and alone, who also were food insecure. So really proud of that. And one other story I'd like to share is that happened just here in New York City. We have our global headquarter building in Tribeca. And so I'm really proud of the fact that our own food services team at Citi, it's our hospitality team, they absolutely totally transformed our eatery, our cafeteria into a meal prep site.
Wow.
So that team, it was amazing. They prepped and packed and delivered thousands of meals to New York City families. So that was really pretty cool. So a really critical issue, and really pleased the way that we were able to get out there and help and continue to do so.
Well, and I can be if there is any fly on the wall in the conversation you just had about Citi's focus on hunger, we are that fly on the wall. I mean, we really watched, and as you know, when the pandemic hit, I mean, we had to shut down our hunger projects, our packing events. Who would have thought, right, that you can't do in-person volunteerism for as long as we have? But the world really has changed in many ways. But I gotta say, Citi never gave up on the fight against food insecurity, like many of our partners. And you all were very committed to shipping more than 3,100 boxes, and those represents homes that those boxes went to. of food through our Pack with a Purpose program. So talk a little bit about that. How has this experience been for your employees, particularly Pack with a Purpose?
Yeah, thanks, Rick. So I remember it well, brainstorming with my team, trying to figure it out. The issue is that our volunteers love signing up for the in-person food packing activities, right? And we've been doing that with you and your team for years in markets around the country.
Yeah.
Knowing that, we had to figure it out. We also know that our volunteers like to engage their friends and family to join them at the food packs, right? We didn't know what we were going to do. We were kind of at a loss, especially think about our New York City flagship in-person food packing that we do every year. We have probably just about 1,000 people joining us in different shifts throughout the day at probably our largest event, one-day event for the Global Community Day campaign in New York City. We didn't know what we were going to do, but
I remember the call. You were like, "All right, we just got to get some time. We're trying to give us ideas." I remember it, and
yeah.
you guys helped us get to that Pack with a Purpose.
Well, I don't know if it was us, but you did it. It was your team. It was Amanda and the rest of your incredible team that made it happen. You know, you brought Pack with a Purpose to us, and you just made it so easy. It was like a turnkey project for us. You made it so easy for all of us to help from no matter where we were, right? Many of us at home. And so when you think about the challenge of engaging in a lot of ways virtually, it's sometimes hard to engage your kids, right, in activities, but not when it came to Pack with a Purpose. It was really easy. People talked to their kids about this global issue of food insecurity. So that was one really great benefit that came out of this, if you could look at it as a benefit. So kids understood. They took their kids shopping. They had them helping them pack the boxes. So it was really, a family effort. And we actually heard that feedback from our colleagues. They really took advantage of the situation, and they too found it really easy to engage. It was simple, right? And we made quite an impact all together. So we were thrilled about that. Not only did we have our colleagues throughout the U.S. engaged in this Pack with a Purpose, but also we of course like, as you know, to engage, and they like to engage our city leaders, our executives who are leading our businesses across the firm. So we had a number of them doing the food pack from home, which was awesome. So really, so well received, really popular. And I have to say, and just a heads up for you, Rick, and your team, we would really like to promote the project during the upcoming holiday season. There's a lot of interest in it. So we'll be in touch on that pretty soon.
Well, thank you so much. And you use the pronoun you. I got to tell you, it is us, our team, are just incredible. Really, Amanda and her team and our marketing team really led that effort. And for everyone listening, going, Pack with a what? What is that? If you haven't heard of it, and Stephanie and team were really at ground zero. It is where we take the best of what we do really well as an organization, both shipping food across the country, and coordinating pack events, but not being able to bring people together. Pack with a Purpose was really about allowing, as Stephanie said, you to receive a box. And I love hearing that it was a family experience, and the family went and packed the food, and that food was shipped to a designated food bank at City's Choice in this case. And so, Stephanie, you and your team really helped bring that alive. You challenged us to really think out of the box, and really you were the first organization to commit to that with us. And so thank you very much. So you talked about Global Community Day this past year, and when you invited our organization with Pack with a Purpose, you also asked us to consider a webinar to really introduce that. And that was new for us. Can you speak a little more about this role of education in cities' impact and volunteerism?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad you raised this. It's important to us. Education, when you think about that, that's really key to understanding the critical issues, right, and the needs of people all around the world and in our own communities and our own backyards. So when we hosted that in-person webinar, and thank you, Rick, for joining us on that, it was important for our volunteers and the folks who were invited to join that session, which was really hosted by you, were ones who had signed up to participate in Pack with a Purpose for our Global Community Day campaign. And so it was a great opportunity for them to hear from you a lot of important background on the topic, right? The global issue of food insecurity holistically. And really, the volunteers had a good understanding after that session of how their actions are going to make a real positive difference in the lives of people in need. And that's the bottom line. I really, when I think about it, I believe education is a precursor to even more volunteerism, volunteer engagement, because it raises awareness of the needs of how you can make a difference from some simple actions, right? And in all different areas. So for us at Citi, certainly it's food insecurity. Youth unemployment is key for us. Environmental sustainability, and the list goes on. But I like to say also that education is a gateway to being a good corporate citizen. It's always the first part of kind of a cycle: education, engagement, action, and impact. And unfortunately, with COVID, that certainly showed us how important it is to get out there and volunteer and help your local communities and help your local neighbors.
Yeah, it really showed us as well, Stephanie. And I love how you said that education leads to engagement, creates action, which promotes impact on the world around us. And, I don't know that we had tied together really well the educational component of the work we do. And you're right. We saw your most senior leaders posting on social media, hey, we're doing 20 boxes. And just when you see it at every level from top to bottom, and hearing you talk about how they use that as an opportunity to educate their children and family around what they're doing. It's easy to hear now, but I'm going, wow, how did I miss the most important question, the why? And I think this is a great event to really help people understand or remind people of the why. Stephanie, you and Citi have been amazing partners for years. You have proactively came to us and challenged us to think different. We were a better organization coming through this because of partners like you and so many others. And I just, on behalf of U.S. Hunger and our team, we want to say thank you for being committed to hunger and ending it and choosing us as a partner along the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's mutually beneficial. Really, it is. And we look forward to more partnerships moving forward.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And that's it for us. Join us again on Food for Thought. Take care.